So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you guys found me, and I'm so glad that you guys subscribed, and I sure hope that these readings do resonate with you guys. For those of you guys returning, I'm so blessed to be here, so grateful, and I can't wait to get into your reading today. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Today's reading, we'll be taking a look at the week ahead. And like I always mention, the week ahead is loosely defining timeline, okay? Because we can't pinpoint the exact timing. So this could be energy you're currently dealing with or have recently sort of dealt with. And it could be energy coming into existence in the next 7 to 10 days, okay? But you guys are all in different places on your timeline. If it sounds like old energy, you can go check out another pile, okay? Because energy is interconnected, and sometimes we tap into older energy, okay? It could be looking at energy of you, your situation, people around you, circumstance, what's going on internally. This could be coming through as your higher self. So it's something that's going to resonate energetically in and around you. Okay, it's up to you to sort of attribute whose it belongs to. But if it doesn't resonate at all, then it's not your reading. Okay, and because there's a lot of people that sort of come by, it's going to be the overall energy in that pile that should resonate, not the specific messaging that is pulled through for certain individuals. Okay, so best way is to listen to the card layout and tune your intuition into mine, and then ask spirit what you'll see, feel, or hear throughout the channeling that will confirm to you that it is your pile. Only you could do this, okay? If it's not right, go to another pile. And sometimes there is no channeling here. There's no message in the channels that I'm delivering here for you, and that's fine as well. Hopefully you find another reading in my playlist that is speaking to you. So, beautiful angels, I will put a link right here to these decks for those of you guys interested in the deck reveals of these. And yeah, you can energetically charge these cards at any point in time through that playlist. This gives our energy an opportunity to connect so that the readings can resonate a little bit more on this channel. And I will put timestamps below. We will pull 3 cards from this Sacred Earth Oracle and some buttons. And this will be a pick a card reading. So whichever pile you're called to will have the energy in which I will be channeling for you and the week ahead. Okay, so I'll put a timestamp below, and I will see you guys at the card selection. Gorgeous angels, let us pull the 3 options for the week ahead for the energy. To the collective that's tapped into this reading, spirit, thank you so much for being here. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the collective tapped into this reading. Only what is needed to be communicated for this reading for the week ahead. Thank you so much, Spirit, and thank you so much to the collective for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. For the energy coming into existence for the week ahead, what does the collective need to know? 3 piles, 3 cards, Spirit. Option 1. Second option for pile 2, Spirit, for the week ahead, this one here. And option 3, please. Thank you so much for this message. Option 3, gorgeous. So we'll pull some buttons as well, okay? But if at any point you're called to any one of these 3, I'll put the timestamp below and I'll take you directly to your pick. Option number 1, and we have surface, and we have 2 people looking like they're floating here. Option number 2, we have balance, 2 people holding hands or something here, a ball. Option number 3, we have patterns. Don't get too hung up on the words. It's going to be the energy that I channel through the complete reading. That's going to be the energy, okay? So we'll pull some buttons for option 1 or group 1, Spirit, the energy for the week ahead. We've got 2 here. We have Easy Does It with the number 68, and we have the camera number 46. Okay, option number 2. You also got 2 buttons. You guys got the Vine with 46, and you have a debit card 64 with the number 553595. All right. And option number 3, you guys also got 2. And interesting how they all came and flipped the other way around. So we have the pyramid, 36, and we have 74 with the glasses and mustache disguise. Okay, I will move this out of the way. And I will pull this down here just because it feels more right to me to get these kind of down here centered. So gorgeous, beautiful angels, sit with this energy, okay? And whichever one feels intuitively calling to you will most likely be your pile. It's absolutely fine to be drawn to multiple, all 3, or none of them, okay? Do not force messages. If you do click on one and it doesn't resonate, go check out another one. If you have a hard time, close your eyes, and when you're ready, just open your eyes. Whichever one first pulls to you will most likely be your messaging. Energy around you, internal energy, people around you, situation, circumstance pulls through, so please keep an open mind. It's up to you to determine whether that energy resonates for you or not, whether you'll take it or not, okay, and whose it applies to. So without further ado, beautiful people, I will leave this video running, and I will see you guys at your pick. Beautiful angels, you guys pick the surface card and the 2 buttons, Easy Does It, and the camera, number 68 and 46 for your pick. So we'll get into a quick energy check before we lay out all these cards, okay? So if you don't resonate with this energy check, it could not be your pile, but usually it becomes clear by the time we lay out all the cards, okay? I have asked Spirit for the week ahead, the energy coming into existence around you for pile 1, and this is what we got. I haven't looked at it, but the channel comes through as I lay the cards. So for the energy check, this card is talking about we see things at face value, but there's a lot going on beneath the surface, you know? It could even talk about the calm sort of after the storm. So we could be dismissing certain things or judging certain things or making assumptions about certain things where there might be a lot more going on, you know, that is not necessarily revealed, that might not necessarily be known to us, you know. And so I feel with this Easy Does It as well, because this could talk about pleasantries and, you know, sort of going with the flow without getting too hung up, and being able to sort of enjoy the present moment, you know, and allowing the gold and the experience to surface Okay. But because the camera's here, and for me, the camera's talking about the past, how we remember things. I feel like there's an experience that you have had already. Okay. That might be driving your perception. It might be creating your understanding or your judgment about a situation potentially. And maybe there's more that is not seen by you or understood by you or revealed to you. And so there might be somewhat of a caution as well, like don't just judge what your experience was or what has happened in a situation or circumstance and assume that you know the full picture or the whole story, even if the experience here was it's getting dark in here. I feel like I need to turn the light on, but even if like the flash here, I feel like when we take a picture, it's like we could keep returning and seeing more and more of that picture. And because it is a picture, we can't deny it. We go back and we see sort of a stillness in time. So I do feel there's a realness. There's a real experience. There's a realness. Maybe it's something that the more you think about, the more you is sort of understood by you. But that also means that there might be more judgments and ideas. And we could have been just creating a whole narrative around a past situation here, potentially, and it's like our full understanding, and it's clear to us because we see it clearly or we understand it in a certain way, and there's no doubting this certain thing. And it's like, well, what if, what if, have you guys seen that meme, like, the media with the little kid in the boot, like on his face, and if you zoom out, it's like the kid is actually putting the boot on his own face, but if we didn't zoom out, we wouldn't have known that there was a bigger picture. And so we might be looking at a small section or a small understanding of a bigger picture. And so this easy does it, which I hate when people say easy does it, relax, take it easy. It is what it is. Don't stress, lighten up. Like, to me, I don't know. Well, somehow it bothers me, because it's like we could be really sort of invested in something that means something to us. And it's like, I don't want to take this lightly. This matters to me, this thing, but with the easy does it, it's like there's a need to relinquish some sort of energy that might be driving conflict, that might be driving unnecessary heaviness in a situation that might not be based in truths, and so do we want to carry heaviness that is untrue or partial truths that create an understanding, or do we want to allow the truth to be revealed in its full picture without making any sort of assumption or judgment early on, because early on assumptions might impact something here. Okay, there's lots coming through already with this, but I don't know because I haven't seen these. And let's lay these out and then start to channel what this is. I guess I should move my animals over here. I have no place to put them, so they're going to be making an appearance here for some time until I find a place for them. Okay, so let's see. We have Hope. So she's sitting there with, I don't know what the name of the old-fashioned harp is. A lyre, I think it's called. It looks like a lyre, but I'm not sure. No, it's not a lyre because where are the strings? I don't know. There's like chains on here. What is it? I don't know what that is. Is that a yoke? I don't know what this is, like that thing, but Hope, she's blindfolded. She's wearing yellow solar plexus. There's also chain here. I'm getting some devilly energy from the chain. I'm getting some justice energy from the blindfold. And I'm getting solar plexus from the yellow here. So we have Libra, Capricorn. Also getting a form of a 2 swords or a 2 wands. So some form of a decision as well. Okay. We have check-in. when you think about whether it is that when you think about whatever it is that you're pondering, take a moment to check in with how you feel about it. Do you feel lighter or heavier? Something about heaviness here. Okay, excited or filled with dread? Pay attention to your inner guidance. It's always so helpful. So she's blindfolded. She has to depend on her inner feels. Right? And his eyes are closed. I do feel that's a masculine, yes, and a feminine, and her eyes are open. So we could have two aspects of self here. Okay, and so the feminine is the receptive energy. The masculine is more of the outward, expansive energy of doing, taking action. Okay, and so the one part of us might be dormant or might be needing to be dormant. I don't know. So we'll see what the guidance is here or what's happening. Okay, so we have the kangaroo with the little Joey in the pouch. Some of you guys might have been tied to 3. I don't know why. I think something came through energetically that I felt in the card pulls that I'm feeling here with this card, but I don't know. Okay. Let's see, we have the alarm clock here, and it looks like a person is sort of bound to this arm. The person's shadow is bound to the arm of the alarm clock. Where should we put this? And we have 2 people, and they're sitting on a couch here. I don't know what this is here, but they look quite relaxed. Forest in the background. We have luxury. Okay, let me cover this because there's some stuff here that might not be appropriate for the YouTube oppressors. So 53 and 8, luxury, libertarianism, depravity, excess, seduction, without respect, and exploiting others. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. So we have some Leo energy here with the 8 and some Aquarius energy. Okay, and then we have self-listening. Yeah, something about self-listening here, like what it is that we're sort of the inner dialogue that we're applying to something. Avoidance, ego level 20 or 2. Self-listening, self-promoting, self-focusing, loneliness, self-assertion, setting boundaries, recognizing your needs. Type 2, the helper, emotional center between giving and receiving. So 2 is that, I said 2 source 2 wands because it's giving me a choice. So 2s could be definitely about choices, also about balance, which we were feeling the justice here. Balance, duality. Okay, it's also High Priestess energy, which is the intuition, the unseen. So we have Pisces and more Libra pulling out with that. And then the red is the root chakra here. Okay, we have uniqueness with 4. So Emperor and Death for the 4 here. So we could feel some Aries or some Scorpio energy. Compulsion, ideal, ego level, uniqueness, feeling different, authenticity, sensitivity, singularity, eccentricity, and taste for aesthetics. Type 4, the individualist, emotional center between lack and abundance. More purple with this, I feel the intuition here as well, but the masculine was pulling through here. Interesting. Okay. Uniqueness. And then we have, and look at her dress, looks the same. Like it's kind of one of those poofy white dresses. She's dressed in a dress here. Okay, we have rotation and revolution. And then 2, I guess, balls here. And it looks like it's just moving to that state. But the state looks the same to me, doesn't it? So revolution. It emerges. Could it be the backside of the same object? it appears to be the same. So it's like, to us, it appears one way, you know, it's still appearing the same, but it's like, is it actually, are we just seeing it the same? But there's more. It's different because it's saying rotation, revolution. When something rotates or it revolves in some way, right? I don't know why I'm getting so thrown off by revolution, but it looks the same. You would think it emerges differently. That's a mind fuck. Okay, and then we have synchronicity, the moon's moment. More shadow in the clock. Look at that synchronicity. So shadow could talk about the Pluto energy, you know, what's in the shadow and the subconscious. The clock could certainly be talking about divine timing. Bound. The shadow is bound by time or something. Something in the shadows that hasn't been yet. It's not time to be seen. And look at the time here. So what do we have? 3:54. 3:54. Okay, and here it's 11:21. That could be significant. I don't know. Fascinating synchronicity. Okay, and then we have out of bounds moon, boundaries. This is the second time we're hearing boundaries. And here she's looking at the mirror, which is something going on within self internally. Okay, boundaries. Out of bounds moon. And then we have not for you with the fortune cookie here. It says nope. And number 6. So 6 is lover's devil. So we're feeling some Gemini and some Capricorn energy. Fortune cookie and the chessboard here. The light and the dark. It could be symbolizing the masculine and the feminine again. Okay. And the chessboard. So something about a strategy of sorts. Like a battle of sorts. Getting the 2 again. And we see a face here in the distance. So it's kind of looking a little bit like my mask. And now I'm being tied again back to pile number 3 because of the eyeglasses and the mustache. So there could be a connection, like I said, to pile 3 pulling through again. So here we have an elephant and it's reaching up to get some leaves to eat with its trunk. The tree looks absolutely fulfilling because it's full of leaves and it's lush. More forest energy, which we were feeling from the forest here. Okay, and then we have these people who appear to be fishing or wading the water here at sunset. Looks like it's sunset. So mother with a child on her back, someone with a fishing rod. Okay. Interesting. And then we have this card right here, which I need to cover up. So it looks like a goddess of sorts, statue, again, like surrounded by forestry here. It's giving some like Cleopatra type energy or Egyptian type energy. Not sure how that's tying in here yet. And then we have it this way. So 3 more blobs from a different deck here and another 3. So this is like rotating around a stationary. And this is like up and down or movement, trading places. Rotation and revolution. I'm getting the same from this card. That's fascinating. You guys have a lot of synchronicity here. Okay, well, let me make it so that it's a little bit more balanced. Yeah, and then let me get the tarot because we will pull tarot because I don't know, this is looking a little bit like lots to peel back here. I might need clarifier. So you guys can skip ahead. I'll put the links below, or the timestamp below will take you to the channeled message. And yeah, let me sit here until this becomes a little bit clear for me, okay? Okay, pile number one. We'll definitely need some tarot because I'm interested in peeling this back. So it might not be very clear right away, but it will be clear by the time we're done for sure, because it will clear to you, maybe not to me, but for the week ahead. So we might not know this energy just yet, right? Because it's coming into existence. So let's get some signs out of the way here, okay? If you guys didn't sit through that card layout, we have Capricorn and Gemini, Leo, Aquarius, Pisces, Libra, Aries, and Scorpio. Okay, that's running through this pile. Yeah, so if you resonated with this check-in, I feel it's still along the same lines here in some fashion. I feel like you have an understanding of something that's already transpired, and I think you are automatically pessimistic about it in some way, and you could be running with an understanding about it, but I think it's more negative than it is positive, if I got to be honest, and maybe we want to be realistic, or maybe our experience just has been more negative than positive, and we can't deny that our experience wasn't pleasant. And so we've concluded potentially something, okay, in our mind. It doesn't necessarily mean you've taken action on it or wrote something off, but I think in your mind, you have either assumed it's not going to work, or I guess it's not going to work. It's not for me, or this thing isn't going to flow, or this situation isn't going to result in more, or this is sort of not a good thing. There's some understanding you have, and I feel like Spirit is saying there's something emerging that you're not in the privy of just yet. It's been removed from your knowing, and I don't know why that is, but it seems to be like this by design, by divine design. There's divine timing in releasing whatever this thing is to you. And I don't know that we fully see it so much here yet, because I think the divine is saying, because it is in the divine's hands, it must be revealed by the divine in divine timing, which we always love to hear, because the ego wants what it wants when it wants it, But there's something here about divine timing, and you will know and you will see in divine timing the thing in which you weren't seeing, the thing in which you might be fearing. Because I think this might be a really big thing for you. And it's like, what is it? Is it a yes? Is it a no? Or is it successful? Or is it a failure? Is it a go time? Or is it a no time? Like, what is it? And, but I feel like we could be falling into an ego drive of wanting to make decisions based on an early sort of, from an early position. And so Spirit's talking about for this week ahead, like I said, okay, all of you guys are sort of in a different timeline here. It's like something will unfold. Understand when we might be running with assumption, and might be driven mostly by the egoic desire and the need to see something, but we might be driving with the egoic needs to see, feel, touch with the senses. The five senses are going to confirm to me, and Spirit is saying this is something that we're going to have to trust the divine, trust the intuition, trust in the unseen here. Okay, and I feel like we have an inner understanding going on right now that we're running with, and Spirit saying check again. Like check again, but not check again to confirm what you already know and affirm it, because I think you've already, if you review it again, I think you're going to see the exact same thing. It's like, no, that past situation or my understanding of it is based in actualities, but Spirit is saying you're not seeing it yet. You haven't seen it yet. And so your understanding is partial, although it's happening like within you, this understanding, you know, and Spirit is saying it's like, now we've created a little narrative or a story based on it. And so we're going to add to it or stack to it. So if we're already starting from a non-accurate big picture, anything you stack on it will be inaccurate, you know? So in other words, it begs the question, meaning, what is the baseline of our understanding? And to undo that baseline, and this doesn't mean forget everything that's happened to you or forgive everything that went awry or be in ignorance that something failed or didn't work. But this means let go of what you experienced as an experience and look again as it unfolds, as it emerges, because it's going to emerge differently. And so what Spirit is saying is like, when this emerges, whatever, for all of you guys is different, okay? I feel like it's harmony. That's what I feel like. It's like something going smooth, being understood, or, you know, like a balance here, you know? It's like, if I take all of this time to put together my book, I would expect the publisher to approve it and it be successful. Or if I've already released my book, I would expect it to sell, like harmony. You know, if I ask someone out, I want them to say yes, and then we go out. Like, we want balance and harmony in some way. We want the outcome to match or to be reciprocal in some way here to the efforts in which we are outputting, you know? And so I feel like what Spirit is saying is how this answer emerges. If we aren't looking again, we might still see it through the eyes of it's not successful. And so this could look something like, I wrote the book and I release or publish or go to the publisher to get it published, and I'm like messaging and contacting, and I don't hear for a month. Obviously, I'm going to conclude it was sucked so bad. They're not contacting me. They're probably not going to publish this. It's just not a thing, you know? It's like, well, it has been a month. Like, I'm not going to pretend that they approved it or published it or whatever. I don't know what the process is, you know? And so now we're in this mindset. And so then we get a mail or a letter, and we're reading through it. And there's just like one spot there where we insert a word, like we're not going to publish it, but it might say, we were not in a position at the time to publish, but now we're publishing your book. But all we read is we're not in a position to publish, and we freak out. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like the mind does tricky things when we're already sort of assuming the worst. And so there might be cynicism here. There might just be, I got let down here in some way, you know? And I feel like there is, also, like, because I feel like this is some form of it's definitely something you want, but I feel like there needs to be a form of a balance as well in this situation, because I do feel like there is some part of you that also needs to get involved in some way. Like, let's say again, the publisher story. Okay. If we finally hear from the publisher saying I'm going to publish it, then it's like we could be bound to say, okay, like I'll just sign my rights away to this publisher and then make no money on my book if I'm not in the present moment. And the present moment, I have to be attuned to what's going on. It's like the publisher says, I'm going to publish your book. Okay, good. Now, oh, there's a negotiation. Now I have to understand what I want, and with this boundaries here, it's like not sort of run with any other understanding that might not actually be happening in that moment. The publisher might not. Let's say the publisher. I'm using publisher. Okay, apply it to your situation. Okay, if that's not your situation, that's the energy flavor. So then the publisher says, I want to publish your book. And then you assume, oh no, it took a month. And now I feel like I got to go lowball, you know, like how much I want in percentage. I don't know how the negotiation goes. And so we're like, oh, because it took a month, they want to publish it, I'm going to say I only need 10% of my profits, Meanwhile, this publisher knows like the trade is like, I don't know, you get 95% of your profits, and you're going and saying, can I get 5%, or 10% or whatever? It's like, because you're already coming in with this fear-based mentality or this preconceived thing that's riding on a lower state. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, that part's coming through. And I think what Spirit is saying is the best possible thing here is hidden in the shadow, the gold here, or the desired outcome. And I feel like we might have been really, with this hope here. And I feel like these people are like, like maybe something seems lost, or like they're like trying to find something till the wee hours of the night. Like no one's giving up. Like, let's find your missing ring, or whatever you dropped here. Somebody dropped something here. And so then you get your friends to help, and everyone's sort of looking before the sun goes down, and then we lose whatever it is. And so it's like the wee hours of the night, or like the 19th hour. What's it called? At the 11th hour, it's like, well, it's do or die. We better find this thing, and so it's like this hope to find it before the sun goes down, and then good luck ever seeing it. And so this might become right at the point where we gave up. It's like the point where we just gave up. And I feel like with the shadow part, it's like the shadowy part of us, the shadowy part that it creeps in with the doubt, or comes in with the negativity, or just like it thinks it failed, or, oh, I'll never find it again, And so I feel like Spirit is talking about the reason why this is kind of unfolding the way it is because this is the only way for this thing to be protected in some way. Like it's being protected by the divine. It's being nurtured in the shadowy spots, meaning while you're not seeing it. So I don't know how it's being nurtured by the divine, but it's outside of your realm, whatever this opportunity is or this situation. And I feel it will be abundant here, and your thing will be within reach, definitely within reach. And so I feel like the Spirit is also talking about there being a need to be present so we could pivot and maybe negotiate and, like have a present conversation with this thing and see it for what it is, and be actively proactive in the dance of it. Because if we're just having conversations with our own mind when the situation's happening, we're having it's derangement. Okay, and why it's derangement, if you look up the definition of that, it's like in our mind where we're running with an assumption of something that isn't even real. It's like I'm responding to something that is maybe my fear or something that's going on within me, and it's like, well, that's not what's actually happening. And so if we peel the veil of the fear, we'll see what's actually in front of us, and then we can be more in the real, responding with the real, pivoting in the real, taking action in the real, asking and negotiating in the real, And so, yeah. And so we want to, like I said, because there is a part of self here that is requiring or requesting or desiring the reciprocal, like to be a recipient of something, and it's like we want to make sure that part gets nourished, that part gets understood or seen. And so there might be high alert of this. It's like, yeah, instead of the flip, like where we're downplaying it, oh, I just want 5%. We might be so like anxious, now because maybe, okay, this is another scenario. We'll use the book analogy. The publisher took a month, and now, how we were like desperate in some way because it's like we thought it wasn't going to go through, and we needed that initial pay. And maybe this publishing house was like, yeah, you get, 90% signing deal right when we publish, there's no gaps between pay. And then you're like, yay. And then you're waiting a month. You're like, man, I went with that publishing house because I wanted to get my payout like immediately. And so now they come forward and now you're like, well, they pay 90%. I'm going to ask for like 98% because it was late. And be like, okay, I need 98. They're like, well, we only do 90, And it's like, well, we're more concerned here with the month thing and some other story that has nothing to do with the publisher. The publisher was like 90% upon publish. And now we're just like running with a 98 to like, I don't know, create something here that's not based in the real reality of the publisher's world, We're just making up our own sort of rules here because there might be a desperation or there might be something here. So I don't know how this applies to your situation. This is an interesting one, like I said, but I do feel it's lucrative. I do feel like, but with this excessive, without respect, we might even feel slighted. Maybe it took too long. Now I want it. That's why I said, now I want 98, and this publisher is like, well, it took a month because, like maybe we're not listening to the real reason. Maybe that publisher could not legally write any checks. And so that's why it was a month. But all we're thinking is like, you took a month and you said, whatever, 90%. Now I want 98. It's like, yeah, but we were going to give you 90 and we are going to give you 90, but there's something here about them being in excess, like demanding maybe something that, I don't know, that it could tip this either which way, And so there's a need to still understand the position in which we sit. And I do feel like Spirit is talking about what you do have to offer is something here that is very, well, this is unique, but I feel like it isn't run of the mill or something like this, And maybe that's the thing is like, we think we're applying standard rules or run of the mill or just, it's just another book to this publisher. Or I'm just another thing, or this thing was just another one of those things that unfolds in your everyday life. And Spirit saying, no, this is something very divine. If this is a book, this is like a book that's very profound, that is making an impact, that you did have an impact on this publisher, that it is something quite significant, that there is that, but then there's also a message coming through here that the negotiation or the understanding must be based in authenticity, must be based on a clear understanding of what's going on in the present moment in reality, not in the derangement of what I thought, and then that's the dialogue that comes, or that's the face that I see, because I feel like when it comes forward, we might not know our truth from the lie, and it might look the same, like, I don't know, there's something about it looking the same and us saying, I don't know, maybe saying like, because the surface is like, discounting it right away, And it could be, let's use the publisher again as the analogy. It's like, let's say we took our book and the publisher looked at it and I don't know, like there was one experience we had and we obviously didn't get anywhere, or we got the results we didn't like, or we felt like it was not successful or delayed or hung up. Because it feels more like it was delayed or hung up, and then we assumed it wasn't going to work. And then we go there again. And it feels like it's the same energy, like the publisher's like, okay, sit down. They're like, oh, not this again, or not this again. It's like the same thing again. I'm going to experience this and I don't want to. And so I interject with my derangement idea of what I think is going to happen. And then I get into an argument with the publisher. You don't know a good book when you see one, He's like, I was about to offer you your 90%. Get out of my office. Why are you all uppity? Oh, shoot, you were going to offer me that? I thought you were going to just tell me the same thing again. Well, you jumped the gun, Or we might sit there and it's like, we're quiet maybe. And the publisher's like, I'll give you whatever, like the 20%. And you're like, okay. And Spirit is saying like, we might not know that another 30% is coming. It hasn't been revealed, and so how do we intake that? It seems something here about it not being fully revealed or understood or seen, I don't know if I can explain any of that any way better than how I did. I'm sure there's a million different ways, but that's all I know. It's like and you're thinking, I want someone on my team. I want a partner in this, or I want to be understood with this thing. I want, so there's a need to obviously understand what one wants, what is fair for one, but also what's fair in partnership, or what's fair in a negotiation. And if we start to feel slighted, we're not running with a different sort of gender understanding that's not necessarily going to come to harmony. And so Spirit is saying, like, what's most important? Is it harmony? Is it the outcome here? Is it in the unfoldment here? And because Spirit is definitely in charge of the unfoldment here, that's a for sure with this divine timing. There's nothing we can do. It has nothing to do with the publisher or the other person or the other side or the situation. It's like a divine dance of two sides. One's giving, one's receiving, and one, it seems one's dormant here. Action wasn't happening here. It wasn't as fast as I wanted to see. I didn't hear as quickly as I wanted. It wasn't approved in the way that I needed and wanted at the time that my ego wanted and needed. And now Spirit is saying for the week ahead, you have a choice. There is a choice here, because what's the choice? Either I scream at the publisher, I take the 20%, I go in the derangement, or I get in the present moment, I negotiate what I need, something like this. Okay, but what's on the table is fulfillment, is the prize, is the thing. It's on the table. We just don't see it, So let's see, Spirit. What am I saying exactly here? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Please allow me to channel exactly what it is that the Spirit, that pile number 1 needs to hear. If it's not accurate, don't let me say it. But what is it that pile number 1 needs to hear for the week ahead? Energy for the week ahead. Clear and concise message. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much. King of Swords. The 2 cups. So remember I said about harmony. Okay, harmony. You want an equal exchange. Okay, 2 cups does talk about a relationship. We are in a relationship with everything. I write the book. I'm the writer. The publisher is the recipient, and it's going to be a giving and receiving flow state. When I produce the goods, I get the goods back to me, or the money or the profits. Okay, this could be a relationship. And it's like, we both have to be in the giving and receiving here. But we have a King of Swords, okay, and the dragonfly, which is talking about seeing through illusion. Okay, so it's like seeing beyond the veil, seeing the truth of the matter, And so if we're in derangement, which keeps coming through, it's like, we believe something that might not necessarily be based in truth and reality here, or we might feel like we were deceived, or maybe seeing one thing because that's what's being shown. Okay, but I don't think you're being deceived, but I think what you are seeing is definitely what you're seeing. But what Spirit's saying is what you're seeing is actually not real. There's more. There's more you're not seeing or understanding or privy to. And it only has to do with the divine. It has nothing to do with, I feel someone trying to lie or pull a fast one or take more money or take your thing, because I feel it is mutual. But when we get hung up on the thing that we're seeing, we can't see the forest for the trees. And we kept getting forest energy throughout this reading. Okay, forest for the trees. And yeah, forest for the trees, because I said I don't know how this card plays into it. And it seemed like a gold idol, like a god or an idol here, a statue here hidden in the vines or the forest. It's like the goal, the outcome, what we want, the prize, them looking for the ring or whatever, the thing before the sun goes down. It's hidden here. It's there. And so I feel like what that is the harmony or the negotiation outcome, success. But if we're too focused on the thing that's distracting, you can't see the harmony. Okay, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. The world, successful conclusion, success. And this is like, yeah, like the outcome is positive here. Like the publisher says, yeah, your book, we're publishing it. Here's your whatever, We're in the present moment. We have success here. We have harmony here. We have an exchange of equal measure, or a non, I don't know, but we must be in this clear seeing state, logical state, not irrational. And so the King of Swords is based on logic and truths clearly, but if he thinks his truth is clear, then he runs with other things here. And so I don't know. Let's see what Spirit wants to communicate. I'm going to put all the cards down here, but Spirits, for pile number 1, what is this week ahead energy then? Like, am I missing something here? Also, the alarm clock, because I think it's time, you know, like divine timing, yes, but I feel it is time. And I think like alarming, like, yeah, I'm getting so many downloads for this pile. My goodness, my head's about to explode. So I feel like the alarm is the dragonfly here, because an alarm can be, alarms, you know, we hear an alarm and we get triggered, or we get anxious, or we're like, oh, I got to do something, or the alarm means warning, 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 pop, pop, pop. Meanwhile, the alarm here could be like, it's like a wake up in the situation, or like a wake up to this publisher, like it's like woken up here, like it's no longer going to be hidden. Divine timing is here. It's like alarmed. It went off. It's time to get up. It's time to take action. It's time for it to happen here, you know. But we hear the alarm and then we're like, whoa, and then we run out the door. Meanwhile, it's like, no, I was about to deliver your thing. Why are you running out the door? You know, why are you fearful? Why are you reactive in a way here? But we could say, well, it was an alarm. It's like, yeah, but it's an alarm clock to wake you up, you know? King of Pentacles in reverse. So we have fear that it won't be based on outcome in a way here that is successful or long-term, or that we could build on it. Okay, we're seeing 2 kings as well. And so I'm seeing like the negotiation, you know, and maybe it's like masculine energy. It doesn't have to necessarily be 2 different males here, but it could be 2 different energies in regards to masculine energy. You know, one is thought and action and words, and then the King of Pentacles here would signify like attaining some form of material success or outcome, or, you know, again, like the 5 senses here. And it's like, if I don't see it in the 5 senses, if it's not going to produce, if I don't then it's not successful, you know. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Spirit, what's with this King of Swords and this 2 of Cups? The Emperor in reverse, more masculine energy, but the Emperor in reverse could be in the shadow. It could be a need to take some form of right action, but it could be irrational, distorted masculine energy. What is this about, Spirit? Why is the World here in regards to the week ahead for pile number 1? Aries energy. The Devil, Capricorn energy coming through strong in this pile. Yeah, the 2 mushrooms here. But the Devil, okay, let's see. Why is the King of Pentacles here in reverse? The 4 Swords. The 9 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles. So remember I said this card, I was getting a choice, which is 2 Pentacles. We were getting the Chain, which I was getting Devil. Okay, and this 9 Cups talks about a successful sort of outcome for us. We're emotionally happy with the results. Our wishes come true. Okay, let me just sit here with this energy and see what Spirit is talking about here. Strength in reverse, Leo energy. I can't put my finger on how to explain this, but hopefully this makes sense, and you'll see for the week ahead, because I feel it's still unfolding, and I feel we're getting a snapshot I'm getting a snapshot of energy here, and it's frustrating for me because I do long readings because I like to see what's going on, big picture, and understand it myself, so I know that I'm channeling accurate. So I ask Spirit to give only accurate understanding here to you about this because I don't want to deliver false information here. This feels very accurate, although I have no idea what the fuck this means. Okay, I feel as though Spirit is giving you an understanding here that you might feel helpless. Okay, you might feel helpless here because it does seem to be a decision that is going to present itself at some point in time. When the timing says, bup, 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 time to do it, you are going to get your wish and your outcome. There's a need for you, though, to understand what is devilly, okay? And the devil, I feel, is created by your own way that you see this thing. If you see shadows and monsters, you experience shadows and monsters because you're reacting to the shadows and monsters. And so Spirit says there's a need to really be in tune with the mind, and the way you're seeing something with your eyes might be different than the actual what's happening, okay? And so this is difficult to do because we might see something with our eyes and we don't want to be taken advantage of. And so it's a careful dance because I feel like you also need to be your own voice. Speak up for what you need. You know, something here is wrapping up. It seems like it will close out, but I feel like the presence of this devil in this world here are saying that the process is still going to be however long it takes. Okay, it's not going to close out this week, I don't feel. But Spirit says the process of closing this out and successfully closing this out and getting your wish and your outcome is unfolding this week. And you might be too focused on the devil and the thing that you experienced or saw that might be limiting you or holding this thing back. And Spirit saying, no, my child, divine timing wants to give you your success, wants to close this out successfully, wants you to have the decision or the option on the table, wants this to build. And you could create delays here in building this beautiful empire, this outcome, or this success, or this harmonious project. It could be successful. It could end successfully in a way here. And that's what's happening and unfolding in front of you. But if you're too hung up on something story, some experience, something like this, then you're actually acting from shadow and you're not proactively involved here. Okay. And this thing would require a proactive involvement of someone who is clear, someone who is of sound mind, someone who isn't reactionary, someone who is able to be very logical, practical, grounded, stable, making decisions when need be, knowing when to not have to make any decisions and just sort of allow things to be when need be. This is the harmonious flow. Okay. And so Spirit is saying, like, we're healing something here and we need to slow down in order to identify the devil in us or in the situation in which we might be projecting or where we could be having an understanding or doing a certain thing that might not be responding to the present moment or the situation at hand. This is being healed. And so now again, I'm getting the divine timing here because I feel like this whole thing is saying it was to give you an ability here to work through and heal and slow down and see through illusions of your own mind or your own thing. Like this could be the divine experience so that you could put this behind you, this way of engagement or this thing and learn from it and heal from it and be understanding of your own sort of contribution. Okay. And until that is learned, then this other thing sort of is on the back burner, you know, sitting out here in the ethers, your opportunity or a chance to choose something here. And I think at the same time, you might feel like there's nothing I can do, you know, and it's like Spirit is saying, like, don't focus on the nothing I can do. If you have one mindset of the thing you want to do, focus on what you can do. Focus on what it is that energy you need to be in order for this thing to unfold. Things that are out of your control, things that are protected by the divine that are coming towards you. Something about this being very protected, you know. But there's an outside nurturance happening here, you know. I'm getting Empress energy as well from this kangaroo energy. And so I feel Spirit's saying for this week, check your energy. Is there illusion? Is there mind speak? Is there unhealthy patterns? Is there something holding me back right now? Am I seeing shadows? Am I seeing devil? Am I responding to things that my worst fears, my worst case scenarios? and I'm responding to that rather than what's actually happening, because Spirit is clearly saying there's something here that's going to work out in your favor, that is harmonious, so we could keep our eyes sort of on the prize, but at the same time, there's a need not to get attached to the house and the outcome of wins and this sort of a thing, and then run with an understanding of negativity or something like this. Okay, so I'm going to get your guidance and advice, because I feel like we're missing something like this from this reading. Okay, but that's the best I can do with this energy, you guys. So let's see, Spirit, if there is anything that I'm missing, if the collective does have pressing questions about this, can we answer that? And also guidance for this final round of reading. Clear and concise message. Please help me to channel in a way that pile 1 will understand the week ahead. What am I missing? What questions do they still have? What is unclear? And what is their guidance? Thank you so much. Queen of Wands in reverse. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. The 5 of Wands in reverse. The 9 of Pentacles. So now we saw the 9 of Cups and the 9 Pentacles. So something about self-fulfillment, self-success, self-reassurance, self-confidence here. Queen of Swords in reverse. Now we got 2 queens. The other one we have 2 kings. Remember I said at the beginning we were feeling there's a masculine and a feminine energy. So it could be 2 aspects, again, within self in some way here. Okay, the 4 of Wands. So that's the harmony again. Like I said, things coming together. Creating that stability, that security, having that milestone of success. It's like finally we made that agreement. We reached an agreement here. We came to the same mind of building our future. Okay, the future of this project, the future of this relationship, whatever this 4 of Wands means. And then the King of Swords again with that dragonfly. And then Death, Scorpio energy. And then the 9 Cups again. Okay. What's under 9 Cups? The Emperor in reverse again. Okay, so just let me sit here with this energy. We have Aries and Scorpio, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then again Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay. 2 queens in reverse. I feel like Spirit is saying there's a need to surrender to what is, but to also be in the present of what's happening without discouraging present moments, because I feel like we can inject the situation with discouraging energy. The queens, both in the reverse, it could mean we're blocked in receiving, blocked in receiving feminine energy in the reverse, blocked. And now I can't receive this gift from the universe because I'm sour, salty, angry, or whatever. So there's a need to surrender. It's like surrender the resentment, surrender the negative energy, surrender that it's not going to work, blah, 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 because that energy is blocking receiving. And the universe says you will be receiving the minute you're ready to receive. It is coming. Harmony is coming. Whatever you are needing is coming. We could have been waiting for something to finally respond or take action. The publisher hasn't shown up. The other side of the cup hasn't shown up here with the Emperor in reverse. I thought it would take action. It was too slow, or it didn't show up, or it didn't do the thing. And now I'm not ready to receive. And it could be the Spirit saying, like, do we want a conflict? Do we want to create conflict, or do we want to keep our understanding on the success of what we can have here? Because I feel like what you want is the outcome of 4 wands, like coming together, celebrating the groundwork, stability here, whatever, the marriage of the thing. This is what you want, And so there's a 9 cups and a 9 cups and a 9 pentacles, which is a complete self-fulfillment, wishes coming true. I'm emotionally happy. I'm materially happy. The 3D world is aligned and it's making me emotionally fulfilled here. And I think this is what you want. And Spirit is saying this is all pending on whether you see the dragonfly, which is the devil, the illusion of the chains or the discouragement thing or the pattern that we do or how we engage. So either we engage fully open, ready to receive and allow this beautiful thing to come in, or we focus on the surface thing that might be casting shadows. And the shadow is really created in the mind, in which in turn creates the action that we're going to take. And that action is going to be very tied to the outcome because, like I said, if we're battling the publisher and the publisher wants to give you money, any publisher that feels threatened is going to kick you out of his office. So something's being transformed here. Like I said, something very divine. This is like major arcana. So the universe with the world card, like I said, it's like, oh, the world card there was talking about you having to experience the divine experience of whatever first. This feels very orchestrated by the divine. There's something that needs to be transformed. The devilly ways, the self-speak, every time I see this dragonfly, the way that I engage is something that it must be transformed and seen divinely in order for me to have the success here, in order for me to receive the thing here. Okay, and so, yeah, there's really a need for us to be authentic too. Okay, because I saw, yeah, right here, authenticity, and the Queen of Wands in the reverse could be talking about like a lack of authenticity here. You know, like again, the ego. I was feeling the yellow here with the solar plexus. This is the ego self. The pride gets in the way, you know, this sort of a thing. And then we get defensive, and we get resentful or angry or argumentative, or if at the worst is like, I'm unclear, therefore I'm unclear, and then I act all sorts of ways because I don't have the clarity I think I need in this moment. And Spirit's saying you're not going to see it with your eyes. You're going to be led there divinely, and it's going to come to this. Okay, it's going to come to a 4 wands here. Happiness, union here, but we must trust the divine. 11 is inspiration, synchronicity, which you also had. Okay, and the encouragement to keep going. The encouragement to keep going. Spirit's not going to keep you going if this thing is like not going to pan out. So Spirit's saying this is confirmation. You're getting what you want here. It's all about how we get about this and resolving this mindset and these devilly things. It's unfolding in this way for a very good reason. And at the same time, it'll lead you to this beautiful emotional fulfillment, you know? So this is what's being transformed, but we must release, because I think you're hanging on to something. I was feeling a 10 wands-ish energy. I don't know if I said it, but it felt like a heavy, yeah, this thing though, I said, remember I said we're carrying a heaviness we don't need to carry, or a seriousness or a deepness of way, even though it is serious, even though it feels very deep, you know? But it's like we're carrying a heaviness here, and Spirit saying this card means releasing what we don't need. We don't need to carry assumptions. We don't need to carry judgments. We don't need to carry resentments. We don't need to carry anything of the past here. Once the past gets released, beautiful things happen here. Okay, I hope this made sense for you guys, beautiful angels. This is your reading, pile number 1. I love you guys so much. If you're drawn to another pile, I will see you there. All right, bye-bye. Pile number 2, gorgeous angels. You guys picked the balance card, button 76 and 64 with the vine and the debit. Okay, and it was number 553595. Lots of fives there, and we know fives are always about change. You know, it could be conflict, it could be a loss, it could be a point where we need to rebuild in some way. We do see the debit card, so it could be something in the material world. With the pentacle here, it could be financially even, you know, but the vine can talk about climbing our way out of something. And balance, I mean, balance is pretty straightforward here, but I do want to see for this card, let's just take a look in the book, and then I will channel the energy that's coming for the week ahead for you guys. But I feel for this group, I'm just going to read the beginning here. It says the earthly meaning. It says the tedium, I've never heard that word, the tedium or drudgery of a safe but unstimulating environment. Denying a problem worsens an outcome. Avoidance of the tough stuff causes dependence, stagnation, or loss of self. Make mistakes with the purpose of learning from them. Aim to manage stress rather than eliminating it. Minimize damage by turning a difficulty into your advantage. A challenge brings needed incentive. Interesting, because we were talking about challenge with the 5, right? But you would think balance means harmony of this, because I'm getting actually very positive energy with this balance. I'm almost feeling like a period of challenge is balancing, healing. I feel like you've climbed out of this, or like there's growth here. Like I'm feeling, yeah, I think we don't know yet, okay, because we're going to see your week ahead with these cards and get the big picture. But I am feeling something that has already been challenging. I think you have been putting it together already. I think there has been a struggle here in the 3D world. However, this manifested for you, if it's financial struggle, if it's like seeing, feeling, touching, having the resource, the thing. Okay, it feels to me like it's been difficult here. And I feel like you've been nourishing or watering this thing. I think there are like beautiful things that you're already experiencing. Maybe you have been climbing out of this for some time and you finally feel like it's I don't know. I feel like there's a beautiful energy that's coming through. Okay, I'm feeling a lot of Sagittarius temperance from this balance, although it could be Libra energy as well. And I'm seeing the blue and the red. Okay, and the red and the blue here. So the blue could be symbolizing the authentic self-expression. Okay, and so in that book was kind of, alluding to the truth must be spoken. We can't suppress it, right? And then the red is the root chakra. And so there are certain needs that need to be met, that make us feel secure and safe. And we can't deny them. But there might also be a lot of challenge when it comes to experiences that get blocked in the root chakra, where there might be us having needs or justifying certain things that we might feel unstable about because of the wounding or because of experience. And so we might need reassurances or certain sort of things here based on our own triggering or need for support. And so there's something about healing as well that comes through. We're seeing two divine feminines here. Okay, so it could be an aspect of yourself, regardless if you're a male or a female, of the divine feminine aspects. Okay, so divine feminine when it comes to authentic expression, and divine feminine energy when it comes to maybe like a need to feel secure or safe, so there could be feminine wounding here. There could be something about emotional expression here that is blocked or challenged, that we're finding balance or healing and needs to express this, and we've been nurturing or have been watering something here. We feel at a loss, or maybe we feel like, like I don't know, there's something about even being fake now, because not that you are, okay, you'll have to apply this. Sorry, I already went into channel mode. You'll have to apply this to your situation. Could be people around you, situation, circumstance. But I'm feeling with this debit card, it's plastic, it's plastic. It's not real. I mean, money is also in some, our paper dollar is made of plastic too, but it's like, it seems like it's a front here of something pure, true, or meaningful or deep. Are we trying to buy something off, or do we have incurred debt somewhere, or a situation where we've been involved in and now we've dug a hole in some way? And it's like, how do I tell the truth now? Or how do I dig myself out of this hole? The hole of like, I've been here not expressing or not explaining or not using my true voice. And now it's like, I don't know how long, maybe your whole life, maybe in a situation, maybe with a certain relationship, maybe internally, something here like this, healing this, balancing this, understanding what this even looks like to speak a truth, or to understand what it looks like when it's coming forward authentically from another. Do we feel safe in our environments to speak our truth? Yeah, there's a lot of that sort of an energy. So if you resonate with that, then this most likely could be your reading, okay? I haven't looked at these, and asked the divine for pile number 2, the week ahead. What is the energy that is going to present itself? This could be internal, okay, your own energy. This could be people around you, situations, circumstances. Strong energy pulls through here. Okay, don't take the energy if it doesn't feel right. But again, this is coming in, so we don't know how this is going to unfold at all. Okay, but if it doesn't sound like something that's going on, then it's most likely not your pile. I do feel like there's something here you would already know about, some form of whatever I just channeled. I don't remember. Okay, so we're going to look, and you guys can go click on the channeled message if you want. Okay, but I do suggest you sit through this card layout and come up with what you're going to see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is your pile or not, okay, to develop your intuition. So we have this blob, and it's radiating energy, almost like it's expressing itself. You know, it's outputting energy. Outputting. A vine grows out in many different ways, because the vine could overtake what it's growing on, you know. It could even like suffocate what it's growing on here. There's many different sort of outlets here. Interesting. We have fortune. Wow, and look at that big bag of money. So remember we were talking about finances or something here. You know, like look at it's overflowing here, and here it's a debit card. So Wheel of Fortune energy coming through here. Interesting. I'm fascinated by these readings this week. And then we have Thief. Oh my goodness. So 7 Swords energy, and he is like looking at that bag of money in here. He's breaking in from the window. Okay, don't take things literally, sorry for this, okay? It's going to be what I channel on the energy, but there is a 7 Swords here. So it could be you. Stealth-like, you know, I don't know. We have a choice, a crossroads going either which way here. You're being asked to make a choice that you've been struggling with. It's time to decide which path you're going to take. Listen to your intuition. Eliminate everyone else's input and feel your way into the choice that is right for you. The time is now. So the 7 Swords does sort of talk about self, you know, because it's like I'm guarded or I'm avoidant. I'm like strategizing alone. I'm keeping it under the radar. So there's something about self here. Okay, but here's like, I don't know, like an explosion of like things being seen in the 3D world. What does it say? That's just a bunch of money there. Okay, and then we have this lion, and it's roaring. Again, this expression, outward energy, you know, when the lion roars. This is going to say Ryan, could be significant, a name. Okay, when the lion roars, it's expressing itself. The lions talk about courage, strength, now is he feeling guarded? So we have some Leo and some Aquarius energy that's pulling through for me here, but it could be ego as well. Okay, and then we have this card, which is a whole bunch of shadow people and then one red person. So it's giving me a bunch of those memes, you know. Are we going to blend in, or are we going to speak our truth? Or we're just going to fade with the crowd, you know, or do what everyone else is doing. It's like to be seen or different, or like our own authentic expression is our own. Something about an authentic expression keeps coming through here very strong. Okay, and then we have this card. It looks like 2 people sort of rowing in Florence, Italy, or something like this. So they're kind of giving me a 6 Swords, but we see like a church bell or something here, or a school bell. 2 people in a boat. Okay, and then we have abandonment. I did feel it with the red. Remember, we were picking that up, like some form of abandonment wound or something. So abandonment, feeling unsupported. Cowardice would mean what? And not speaking your truth. Cowardice, okay. Betrayal, that's this. Deflection, that could be this. You know, water off a duck's back, them deflecting. Separation, feeling excluded. 6, okay, so 6 is lovers and devil. Gemini, Capricorn energy. Type 6, the loyalist thinking center between mistrust and trust. Devil energy, Capricorn. Ego level, basic fear. Choice. Stubbornness, oh my goodness, 63 and 9. determination, perseverance, obsession, willfulness, doggedness. So doggedness, that's kind of like this, right? Like you were dodgy, avoidance in some way, restlessness. Type 9, the peacemaker, instinctive center between forgetting and asserting oneself, mental tendency, stress level 63 and 9, Virgo and Cancer. I'm feeling mostly the Cancer here because I'm feeling something about authentic expression through the emotion, but I guess with the 9 would be Hermit, knowing one's self internal state. Okay, we have solar plexus energy. We have the gold state, which be the highest state, or higher self, which would be the authentic self, the high self here. But we'd have to know ourselves. We'd have to see beyond our own ego with the yellow again. Interesting. So we have Virgo, Cancer, and then we have 101, more Virgo and Gemini energy. So essence, growth level, perfection, experience, integration, accepting others, growth, balance. How synchronistic is that? Accepting others. There was 2 here. Okay. Various visions, mistake acceptance. Type 1, the perfectionist, instinctive center between control and letting go. Fascinating. Okay, and then we have spectrum. Getting some Pink Floyd here with this card. But the triangle is giving me feminine. It's like womb, but it's also like the Trinity. Mind, body, spirit is the 1, and then we have 8. So is this 8 wands? Something about communication. Yeah, I'm seeing 1, which would be like, I see Ace of Swords. And I'm seeing 8 wands. Communication here. Okay, spectrum. What's the spectrum? It could range, Where are we sort of on the spectrum of communication or authenticity or truth? Are we taking action on this thing? And the triangle, like I said, was giving me feminine womb. So it's like, is the feminine energy within us too feminine energy, too passive here, getting in the way of movement, in the way of the truth? Wowzers. You guys, truth. Wow, this channel is coming through very strong today. Truth. Yeah, our truth, the absolute truth, something about expressing truth and taking action on truth, manifesting truth, moving towards truth, a decision of truth, Okay, and then we have to the sea. So something about the emotions again here, navigating through the sea. 7 could be Chariot energy, Cancer energy. Balance is the Chariot. I see a face in the background over here. Okay, and then we have the car, which is Chariot energy. Movement, and the red giving me the root chakra. Sports car. This has been coming through lately too. Someone might be really into cars, hot rods, old cars. Like this is a race car, looks like, or like a sports car, not a race car, but a sports car. I see mountains. Mountains do talk about obstacles, and the root chakra again. Rocky terrain here. And this is 2, like, look at the 2. We have rocky terrain. There's no water to be seen. It looks very dry. And here we're like immersed. We're in the sea, one way and the other way. And what's the truth here? And how do we find balance between these 2? Are we in the rocky terrain, dry, or are we in the water? Are we in thieving mode, or are we overly abundant? There's like 2 polar opposites here. Are we giving? Like, look, our bag's open, all the money's going everywhere. It's like an outburst here. And then here it's like, I'm going to take and steal, keep for self. Here I'm going to give. Very fascinating. And here we have the outer space, satellite. Okay, so a satellite is like observing from a distance, keeping track. It's also, I don't know, what do they use it for? Like warning, if it senses something, or is it just like checking the state, what's going on in the outer space? keeping tabs. Okay, and then we have this card, which usually comes out when I use this deck. And so these are the tusks of the poor elephants. And in some instances, they're like, they hurt the animals, the elephants. They murder them and steal their tusks here, and then they sell it, and it's illegal, you know? So there's an illegal operation here happening, and this person's like observing, like, and maybe they're allowing it, or maybe there's nothing they can do about it, but someone's taking it away in some way here. It feels like it's not in the up and up. It feels very like not ethically, morally good here. Okay, so that's very interesting. Let me channel this energy, and you guys can go skip ahead to the channeled message, okay? Okay, pile number 2. Very fascinating readings for this week. This could be your energy around you. Like I say, a person, situation, circumstance, internally, I don't know, apply it as you see fit. It's going to unfold throughout this next week, okay? And again, don't get hung up on timelines so much, okay? But let's do some signs. So we feel some Capricorn, Gemini, Virgo, Cancer, Leo, Aquarius energy. Strong in that, yes. Okay, so if you resonated with this, this is sort of in lines of this too. There's a lot about the week ahead here that is about balance, okay? And the balancing is in many different ways here. I think what's going on internally, or whether this is you or not, but I feel it's an internal balance, because I do feel like there's something about emotions, but it's like overly immersed, you know? And then there's this energy here of like dry, like no emotion at all in some way, and there being an obstacle here. And it's like, how do we find the middle ground? I feel like you're being given a choice, okay, you or whoever this energy is. And I do feel like there is an involvement here with a someone, because this does feel like you're dealing with someone, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case, that I feel could have an avoidance here, you know, or it could be deflecting, could be, then that could be the balance again, like deflecting, no accountability, no responsibility, stubborn in one's way, fixed in one's way, pride is in the way, and then there's this like overabundance sort of energy here of giving and that sort of a thing. There seems to be a need for an authentic expression that is grounded in truth, that is coming from the authentic self. Okay, but I feel like what's showing up here is a wound in the root chakra that's based in abandonments of the past. Okay, and then there's a need to confront and deal with this abandonment in different ways, meaning, am I going to be a coward? Am I going to go around this thing? Am I going to do it in the up and up way? Am I going to just take and keep what I need? Or am I going to find the balance here in order to make decisions and navigate a situation where I could still be authentic to self? Because I feel like there's like under the radar sneakiness, avoidance, could just blend in, but it's at an expense, you know, of silencing my truth. Speaking about something that would be truthful or important in regards to revealing something in regards to about myself in some way, you know, it's like, but there's a block in what I have experienced, which creates this stunt in communication. And I feel like there's a truth that's getting blocked by feminine energy. Okay, but this doesn't, like I say, have to be the gender so much as it is when I carry too much feminine energy, I am more receptive than I am proactive in taking action and making movement. There's a block here in like a movement of something if I'm too much in feminine energy. And so this is talking about a balance of this thing, a nurturance of this thing, a healing of this thing. It's like I don't want to be either avoidant or cowardice or fake or inauthentic or blend in or keep my mouth shut. I want to move from this energy. I want to move towards truth. But it's like, how? Because now I'm seeing this as, I gotta emerge myself in this deep sea. And it's like, I don't know what this person thinks, that they're just gonna sort of there's an unrealistic sort of fear here going on, because I do feel like this person thinks they're going to just like appear in the middle of the sea, you know, like there's something connected to this perfection where it's like unrealistic. It's like I must then be in one energy completely, you know, like avoidance, stealing, keeping, withholding, or be all on the other spectrum here. That's what perfection looks like. That's what growth looks like. It's like, no, balance. Growth balance. Growth balance means I don't have to be perfect, but I must know what the truth is. I must not get in the own way of it. The ego must not get in the way of it. The stubbornness, the pride, whatever is here. Okay, because there's some form of a habit here with the devil that and there's even obsession here, you know. And so there's something you're dealing with this week, okay, but I do feel like it's been something you've been nurturing for some time, this habit of yours or this way of you being nurturing. But there's an opportunity here this week where this is sort of shown to you. So maybe, again, this unhealthy way of coping, either I could keep silent or I could be cowardice in some way or feel like separate from this thing, you know, or withholding from this thing or avoidance or deflect in my same stubborn way. Okay. Or I can see the truth and move beyond this sort of devilly way of habitual thing that I do and take some form of action and truth here. But I feel like we're seeing something. Okay. Now I'm getting it. Thank you, Spirit. Whoever this is. Okay. I'm going to read it like it's you. It's like, Spirit is saying, see from a greater, bigger picture here. Okay, like there's so many downloads. Oh my goodness, how am I going to explain this all? Spirit, please help me to channel this message. So one thing is coming for sure. The situation that unfolds this week is like on a micro scale. It's like a blip on the radar, like doop, like, you know what I mean? It's not that significant. One, okay, it might be important to you for sure. Okay, but it's just an instance of many that's going to unfold. Okay, so it's one blip. Okay, but every blip creates a pattern. Every opportunity creates a big picture. Every time we have a choice to make that's in front of us, we can either choose fear or we could choose to face it. And so you're going to get a blip, which is an opportunity to face this thing. What are you going to choose? And Spirit says, be cautious, or at least conscious, sorry. Okay, be conscious. And you want to be conscious of, is the abandonment wound creeping in here? Is the old pattern creeping in here? Is my pride and ego creeping in here? Is my way that this situation, that's the blip, it makes me feel, because I feel like it's an intense thing here, or it's a thing that triggers this thing, okay? Because it's like, to me, I'm seeing devil as obsession. It's like something that riles this thing up within me that's been here for some time. It riles it, and now I have a choice to make. And sometimes when we get riled, it's reactionary, right? We have no time to think. I react, I deflect, I react. I push it out, I do the thing I always do. And so it's like, but if we're conscious, it's like, I see the choice now. I create the space now. I'm going to react now. What do? I take this truth, and now my action depends on how I intake this and what I do with it, because I'm conscious. How do I move forward? Do I act ethically? Do I take and keep? Do I stealthily avoid? Do I steamroll? Do I include? And then the balance here is we think that, which is what we're familiar, or the opposite, which we think then, or am I too immersed? Am I going to drown? Am I too lost at sea without navigation in some way here? And Spirit saying the big picture, though, is to find balance, that there isn't a dryness and a too in too deep. It's like finding the middle ground balance here. We don't have to be in one extreme or the other extreme here. And I feel like we have some understanding based on scarring or traumas or shadows or abandonments here, you know? And we might really feel like the situation, they were projecting onto the situation that it might be more threatening, fearful, or it's, we're just seeing it from the eyes of the abandonment, you know? And so the person self wants to act like it would always, in order to protect itself from any further abandonment, any further feeling of exclusion, any sort of feeling of discomfort here, any sort of preventative measures. I want to have preventative measures, you know? And so we could also be like, the only reason Spirit saying this could get even more magnified and triggered the way it is because we're seeing it now as like, if I don't do the preventative measures, it's going to just be so like all out, balls to the wall, you know, everything revealed, complete, like lost at sea, like an over barfing out of this thing, you know, like look at this is the biggest roar. It's like, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to swing on the opposite thing, you know. And I think this is our understanding of the situation. It's like, but I must do this then. That's what the situation is expecting of me, to be this and to you know, and it's like, no, it's not expecting you to be all completely like to the polar end of it now, you know, like the polar end of what I normally am, because I feel like there's some form of block here. I hope this is honestly making sense to you. I don't know. Like, it's like a situation requires movement in truth, a balanced state of understanding. And if the trigger, the abandonment, is very intense, we start to see the situation, the blip that we have, the opportunity, the choice in front of us as more threatening, and that we only have a choice to either go in one extreme or the other, and that's not true. And so the old way of dealing comes upon us, you know, and so it's one thing that we must be cautious of, which is my knee-jerk reaction to this thing might just be reflective. So the answer to that would be more conscious, get in front of the choice. And then the second thing is then how do I act and how do I respond? And am I seeing an appropriate way that is balanced rather than extreme? Thank you, spirits. Yes. Okay, so let's take a look, because I could definitely be missing a whole bunch here, but there's something about truth and authenticity and speaking one's mind without it feeling like it has to be forced or coerced or like aggressive or like I don't know. And maybe we're just battling with this thing. It's like, I really, 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 really want to speak my truth because I feel, yeah, okay, this is coming through. For a lot of you guys, it's like, I'm no longer wanting to be in the devil, or I do see the devil. I'm getting in front of this choice. Like, I'm going to make this choice. I'm going to make this choice to speak my truth, you know, and we're choosing the time. It's like, I nurtured myself. I know I need to do it, whatever, but we might be like projecting that experience would require something it's actually not requiring. It's like, it doesn't require as much as we're going to now output. It requires a balanced output, you know, and maybe we can't help it because it's been so suppressed. It's like when I do open my mouth, it's like, whoa, everything comes out, you know. It's like when I finally do let myself cry, it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting to cry all that much. Or when I finally speak my truth, it's like, whoa, I let all my cards out on the table, you know. It's like, it's like what was kind of suppressed and blocked here is now just like guns a-blazing all at once, like a flood, like a fire hose. It feels like a fire hose here. And maybe we can't help it. And Spirit is saying, like, well, where's the balance then? Why were we so bunged up? And with the mountain, we were bunged up, stealth-like. And yeah, and now it's like fire hose time. But there's two people navigating the seas, not one. I feel like if you guys experience an output of, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a stutter. An output of emotional outburst here by someone or yourself. I feel like there is a way after to like navigate through because of this, like two people boating on that waters. It's like the waters allowed there to be calmness here, you know, where maybe that it was a rocky terrain or two like blocked in some way. There's a mode of travel either which way. It's like either we travel by car, we travel by, you know, on the earth, okay, which is chariot energy, like I say, balance, and then like having success and working with the universe without trying to resist and flow and balance. And then there's also a movement by boat. So navigating the emotion, not just the practical sort of world here, and having the ability to do both and be balanced by it, you know, and seeing the bigger picture. Because when we see bigger picture, we're less likely to make these like impulsive sort of reactions or outbursts or something like this. I don't know. Like, is this outburst anger or emotional expression? It's some form of an authentic expression of truth that I think we've been silencing or suppressing or not acknowledging or not sharing from a state of maybe trying to be in control, trying to, you know, be in control or have an outcome we want. I want these tasks. I want your jewels. I'm going to do what it takes for me to get it without being seen, or go about it in a way that's not in the up and up. Go about it in a way that's not in the up and up. Well, why? Why are we going about it in a way that's not in the up and up? I don't understand. And here she's wearing white. Authentic expression. There's the authentic expression of something. So let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message. What am I missing for pile number 2 here? This is falling sideways. I'm going to leave it in the sideways position. For pile number 2, the week ahead, the energy coming in for the week ahead. What am I missing here? I do feel it takes some form of a courage, you know, to be able to make a choice, get in front of it. But I don't know, like, what I'm feeling here. It feels a little bit weird. Another one sideways. I'm going to leave that like that. So these are here. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2 for the week ahead. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message. Please help me to channel in a way that the viewer will understand this message. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to do your reading. 8 swords. Okay, so blocked limiting beliefs, justice, a Libra energy. There's that balance again. That was your main card, your significator. Okay, the 2 of Cups in reverse. So 2 cups could be talking about a relationship. Okay, but in the reverse, it could be it's out of balance. Okay, a need for harmony and balance. 7 pentacles in reverse. There's that vine energy, but this is in the reverse. So we got to nurture. We got to put in the watering and the maintenance of the garden to have things. And, you know, like, do we feel like we're giving up, or we have given up, or we haven't, I don't know, been confronted with an opportunity to make a choice here? The Magician in reverse. So again, the block in the communication here, but also there's this need for control or some form of like manipulative energy here with the Magician in reverse. So I don't know, is this your energy or someone around you that seems manipulative in some way to get their just dues, you know? But is it harmonious for both sides? Is it flowing equally? Is it balanced? Or is it one-sided and controlled? The Fool in reverse, Aquarius energy, Virgo, Gemini, and the Seven of Wands. 2 sevens here. 7-7. Trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life, trust of self. That's a master number. Okay, but sevens are all about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding. Sevens also Chariot, which you were feeling. Under 8 swords is the Devil in the reverse, Capricorn energy. Okay, and then the sideways, we have the Chariot. Yes, exactly what you're feeling. Cancer energy. Balance again. 2 cards of balance, you guys. And then the 8 of Cups. Okay. Oh, boy. Spirit's giving it to me. Let me channel what this is saying, okay? What's under the Devil? Judgment in the reverse. I'm getting it from this sort of bigger picture view, you know? But something seems blocked in understanding here, so let's see. Something feels still pending in some way here, you know? For me, I don't know. I'm going to maybe need another round depending on what this shows up like. But the big hammer home here of messaging is about finding balance through a situation. And I don't know if it's you or someone you're dealing with here, okay? That is having a difficult time with balancing. Balancing is going to either result in success or failure of something, either something becoming fruitful or it not being fruitful. Obviously, if we water, nurture, and find a way to give to situations in a healthy way, it becomes healthy. It provides, it's balanced. Okay, we have success. And as Spirit is saying, the choice here is either we could choose that or we could choose to be in an energy here that's like manipulative, taking and keeping, you know, and sort of like in a defensive energy, or like needing to like it's dog eat dog, like me versus whatever the situation is. And so I withhold or I don't do the thing, and then it's like one-sided, and it's one-sided, and another party is like not reciprocal here. And so what's the result of non-reciprocality is like something doesn't come to fruition. Whatever the situation is requires a balance, because only through the balance will we have the fruit and the harmony, will we have the success. If it's not balanced, we just have a manipulating situation. We have a devilly situation. We're not seeing a bigger picture. We're maybe giving into habits of the past, or we're fears, you know. There's something here about the shadowy way of the abandonment wound that tries to create a situation in which we're not seeing a bigger picture here that will result in the outcome of something. And all it would take is for us to trust in ourselves and trust the universe. And look at this Fool has a fox, you guys, even another tricky card here. The Magician in reverse, the trickster energy, this thief. Okay. But I don't think it's like someone that's wanting to lie and steal. I feel it's a heavy avoidance. I feel it's like a tricky energy. It's like the devil is tricky here, and it could be tricky, very, very tricky to the situation. And it's going to create all sorts of sort of things here if it's not healed. The devil creates the illusion of feeling chained and stuck. And anytime we choose, when we have the choice to choose the devil or to get in front of it and acknowledge and do something different, we get a different outcome. And so Spirit is saying the success of this week, okay, and it could be sideways, because for some of you guys with free will and conscious choice, we get in front of the devil and we see the bigger picture. And with some of us, we don't. We just choose the same habitual way, you know? It's like, what do we choose? Are we seeing through beyond the limitation of the mind? Okay, and this 8 cups is walking away from what doesn't emotionally fulfill us. And so what Spirit is saying is like, when we experience emotional disappointments, when we keep experiencing emotional disappointments, there will be a point in time where the universe says, have we had enough? And if we say nope, although I'm emotionally disappointed, I haven't had enough. Let me keep staying in the same devil. And then it happens again. And the universe says, have you had enough? Nope. Okay, well, then we do it again. The universe keeps presenting us with choice. And the moment we say, I am no longer emotionally satisfied here, I no longer want to experience the same devilly energy that was keeping me blocked, stuck, avoidant, resistant, blocked, clogged, whatever it was, Spirit saying, then we allow ourselves to find the balance and the harmony. And Spirit is talking about the blocked manifestation here is a result of us not being able to see through the own abandonment wounds, the fears, the shadowy trauma that is preventing us from flowing with communication and harmony and balance, and feeling as though there's an outside world and I must protect myself in some way or withhold or be tricky in some way because this is how I gain my justice. This is how I win. You know, like I win because I'm really trying to fight for justice here. And the justice in my mind, which is devilly, by the way, and not seeing the big picture, is to protect this thing and to be stealth-like and to outwit, outsmart and to block and defend. It's like this person believes that that's the energy I must be in and I want success here, so I'll do this. But then it's like, oh, well, I emotionally didn't get it, so I do it again. You know, that's the version of insanity. I do it again, I do it again, I do it again. Well, then that's just like the wound acting out. That's the subconscious reacting. Are we going to get in front of it, you know? And so we could be very stubborn, doing the same thing over and over. And Spirit is saying, like, are we going to get in front of this thing? And the only way to get in front of this thing would be to put down our wands and surrender. And to understand that the manifestation of success is going to be pending on our ability to make this conscious choice. And that's how we're going to have the balance and the justice in a situation that could be harmonious when we act in line with truth and we see the greater picture that the devil here has been dictating and calling all the shots. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys with the devil in reverse, it's like we're working our way to breaking free from this devil. And so there's an opportunity this week that presents itself. And so even if, let's say, the outcome, okay, which is just a blip, because I don't feel like it's a do or die, and now the outcome is negative, and therefore it never pans out. I feel like there's an opportunity here again, and who knows how many times it's going to present itself for healing. And I feel like we learn of the healing. Are we free of the devil? I don't think so. But there's a little bit of a release here, you know. There's maybe coming closer to an identification of this devil. And that this devil is creating my limiting position, that I feel chained by this, that I feel restricted by this. And I don't like this. Whoever this is not liking feeling restricted by this thing. It doesn't mean that they're going to act differently. It doesn't mean that they don't see then the opposite of how to be, because I feel like this person, like I said, with the balance is seeing, well, if I don't like this, which they don't, then the opposite must be true. And the opposite is overwhelming because I'm like thrown to sea. It's like so deep. It's like the fire hose. It feels like a fire hose here. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't have to be a fire hose. It could be balanced. It's just breaking of this devil does not necessarily mean we got to plunge into the deep end. There's something about having to find the balance here, which is only learned through experience, only learned through surrender. But not the fear, because I think the fear says one thing, and it's just the fears projecting. It's just the devil projecting. It's the shadow saying, whoa, it's going to be intense, or it's going to ask for more, or it's going to be a fire hose, or it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be all these things. It's like, well, is it? Do we know for sure? Or are we just projecting our fear out here, you know? Because there's a bigger picture here. And it's just the blip. And then I think if we surrender and experience, it's like, whoa, I was overreacting. It was just a nothing here. And then we experience more just situations, more emotional satisfaction, and then we see a greater truth. And then we start to build the beautiful garden. And we dig our way out of this bit by bit. And so Spirit is talking about this opportunity bit by bit through the blips. Okay, I call it blip of experience. Another experience upon another experience gives us the opportunity to grow a beautiful vine out of this habit, out of this unhealthy way, out of this block that we have through experience, through time, over and over, until we can build a beautiful garden and be proactive and conscious in watering this beautiful thing. But if we keep choosing the same thing we've always done, we get the same thing we've always gotten, which is not balance, not success, and emotionally dissatisfied situation. But the choice is always in front of us every single time, even if we keep choosing the same thing a million times. It doesn't matter. Here's a new opportunity. You're born again to make a different decision. Every moment you're born again. Born again, different decision. Are you going to choose the same, or are you going to choose different? We have an opportunity to choose different again every time it's in front of us, But how much power does this devil hold? I feel for this group, there's the devil's present for sure. Okay, but I feel like we're breaking from this thing. We're finding the balance through these situations. And so these situations are good, because the more we experience these situations, the more we start to see through that devil, because it keeps presenting itself. It's not lurking in the shadow. They're hidden. It's like, no, it's coming to the surface again. Here's another opportunity for me to see my ways. So we're seeing ourselves in action here. It's being revealed, even if I don't fully understand it, it's being revealed. And so this is the step to dealing with this thing, because I feel like this thing has a mind of its own, and it feels like it's unjustly in some way, like, like doing its own thing unfairly here, like robbing people of things and situations. It could be robbing us of something where we feel, I don't know, we don't feel good about it. It's like, I don't want to be this sneaky fox. I don't want to be the sneaky fox, but I feel I have no other choice, It's like, that's sad that you feel like you got to be a sneaky fox. No, you don't. But that might be my only way of doing it, because I don't know any other way. And I see it as too intense. So I was getting another message here. I was seeing 88. Okay, so 88. That's a master number, a higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness and reverence for life. So we need the self-awareness here, which I was getting from the 9, which was the hermit. And so we need to know when we're in trigger mode. We need to know when we are in front of this crossroads, rather than the devil acting out, the subconscious acting out, the wound, the abandonment acting out. Okay, so I don't feel I need to do another round here, you guys. I think this is your messaging. I love you guys very much, and I hope this helped you. All right, and I don't know if I said the signs. I think I did, but in case I didn't, Cancer, Libra, Virgo, Gemini, Aquarius, Capricorn. Okay, and all the other signs that I mentioned. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye. Gorgeous angel pile number 3. You guys picked the card of patterns, and oopsie, we have the pyramid and the disguise, glasses and mustache. So let's tap into this energy and do a quick energy check before we get into your channeled message. Now, if you don't resonate with this beginning part, it doesn't mean this isn't your pile, because sometimes it becomes clear when I start to channel, okay? But it could definitely be revealing something here, okay? So, patterns, as we know, this is the past that is repeating and giving us an opportunity to do something different, to choose different, to be conscious. So patterns happen karmically, okay, and we experience things that are trying to show us certain lessons, okay, in everyone's sort of world. I feel like this, though, is something very intense here, because I do feel it's breaking from some sort of karmic pattern or some sort of habitual way. Okay, that was pulling through pile 2 for some of you guys. That was very strong there in some way. Okay, but I don't know, like the mask could be we wear a disguise, or we don't want to be seen, or something about, like having to wear a disguise, or the false self being shown one way, something being shown one way, not being seen. Okay, but the pyramid here is a very solid structure. Like, it may be something about a hierarchy here, or a solid structure of sorts here, where something is built over time. I don't know how this pyramid is coming into play into this reading so much just yet, but the pyramids, it's interesting because we don't know, like the Great Pyramid of Giza, like, how was it created? Like, how is it sort of put together? There's these mysteries here, like that's, we can't have any logical explanation of, like, Yeah, I feel there's something very mystical, magical, something here that's beyond, maybe beyond our understanding, or even us thinking we are helpless in some way. Like, I can't do anything about this, or this is beyond my action. And so the divine is intervening. But what is my role then? I do feel like there's something about an inauthentic self that comes through here, okay? And I don't know, again, is this you, someone around you, your situation, your circumstance? I'm not sure. But we're going to see how this all plays in. Sorry, this was probably one of the more choppier energy checks. Okay, but let's just see. So do use your intuition, which you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this pile makes sense for you throughout this card layout. Okay, if you want to go straight away to your channeled message, you could do so. And we ask Spirit for the week ahead, what is the energy that's going to be encompassing your week? So it could be your energy, someone around you, your situation, or your circumstance. Okay, let's take a look. So we have enemy. Oh my goodness. So this enemy is hiding behind a tree. So the disguise, you know how when we're trying not to be seen, we hide? It's like, yeah, we're like trying not to be seen, but to pull something off here. I'm trying not to be seen, but we're trying to pull something off. It looks like he's spying on something or trying to keep tabs on something without being seen. I don't want to be seen, but I want to know. Or I want something here. What do they want? Slow down. Life isn't a race, nor is it a competition. You need to slow down. Doing so doesn't make you weak or less than. It makes you strong, wise, and much better able to navigate life with clarity and ease. Okay, we don't know if we're being asked to slow down, or we'll see with the cards. What's going on here? Something moving slow. We have a rooster. So divine masculine energy. You could be dealing with an ego, or with this could be like, yeah, like someone may be very prideful or dominant, or like wanting control in some way here. Even oppressive could potentially be, okay. But I'm feeling the opposite energy, like exposed, seen here. Whereas here's like, I'm under the guise of not wanting to be strutting my stuff, because maybe I fear I'll look like this, but it's just like being exposed, being like seen for who we are, not necessarily like being cocky about it or something like this. What is this? This is interesting energy. My goodness. We have 3 dolphins. Dolphins for me talk about soulmates, love, and compassion. There we see 3. So it could be like a 3 cups energy. Could be talking about a celebration or network of people or friends, reconciliation. Groups of people we love, or family or friends. Okay, this person is navigating choppy waters here in a kayak. So red is root chakra. It looks like turbulent waters here. Or fast. Look, fast, slow. How are we navigating emotions? This person, are they wearing a mask? Or is she, well, she does look like she's Asian or something, but it does kind of look like a mask. It could be the shadow reflecting off her, but she's also peeking behind the curtain or something, like no one knows she's there. She's like watching someone. So fascinating energy, Spirit. It's like, do we know someone's watching? Are we watching someone, observing something? It feels Page of Swords energy for me here, someone observing or watching someone, maybe without someone else's knowledge. And their disguise, maybe they have like a fake profile. Okay. Oops, now we have this mother and child, and she's harvesting. It looks like it's difficult working like this all day. She's like, I don't know, picking her garden or harvesting something, and then we see people in the background coming in with bags. Let me show you that. So mother and child, divine feminine, inner child. Just looks kind of deserty too. Like, what is she harvesting? It looks really dry and barren here. Tedious. Okay, so we have laziness. It's opposite of that. She's working hard. This person's lazy. 54 and 9. Laziness, passive attitude, indolence, apathy, inertia, inaction, sluggishness. Type 9, peacemaker, instinctive, center between forgetting and asserting yourself. Solar plexus energy and sacral chakra with the orangey here. Some Virgo Cancer energy. We have success, more solar plexus, 3 and 3. This is giving me this rooster. Look at this guy. He's looking not like, I don't know, being drawn to this package there. So it says compulsion ideal, 3. Accomplishments, prosperity, fame, glory, victory, achievement. Type 3, the achiever, emotional center between appearance and authenticity. 3 is divine feminine energy, Taurus and Libra. Then we have stellar stream. Okay, I do want to see what this stellar stream is about here. It says, just go with the flow. The stellar stream sweeps towards the place where the energy flow goes like a tidal force through the ocean. They are groups of stars that move together in the galaxy and do not depend on which way the wind is blowing, nor is there anything that can be done to stop it. The only thing that can resist it is resistance. It does not want to give up. And just like when we force ourselves to walk against the wind, the stronger the wind, the more force we need to control it. The same happens when we give up. We know that the wind may take us somewhere that our mind doesn't want to go, but surrendering to what is will mean that we will inevitably go with the stellar stream that corresponds to our own evolution. Portal, meditate, lower your mental energies towards your heart chakra. Just go with the flow. Okay. Interesting. Take a risk. Moonflower. Slow down. Take a risk. This is in the rapids here. All right. Go the distance. Go the distance. I feel like these cards are just not feeling like they're flowing for me in position here. Okay. 47 with the cheetah. And we have this person who seems to be diving into the water. Yes, and the dove. So she's diving head first. A dove can talk about peace. Diving head first. Take a risk. Slow down. What is this? And look at this fire going on in this forest. Something exploded? Maybe like some plane landed or something crashed here? Is it a forest fire? What is that? More deserty energy. And this one is like, they left their car, they abandoned their car to go trek. They can't take their car there. So car could be a chariot energy, which is Cancer energy. And then we have this. So a mass that revolves around another mass. It's oh my gosh, I feel this energy. It's like it's checking it out, you know, it's like circling like prey in some way. You know how the animals sort of go around the prey, or the what's the prey? Is the prey the animal that's hunting or the hunted? This animal is like hunting this other thing. Oh, this is very interesting energy. Let me mess around here. You guys can go tap into or click on the timestamp to take you to the channeled message, because I gotta sit here with this energy that's just all over the place and see what's gonna pull through. Okay. Okay. It's so funny because when I was laying these cards, it seemed to be like, I don't know, like different than when I actually like got to channel the energy like through sitting with it. But it might become more clear as we go through it, okay? And there's certain parts here that are still a little bit unclear here. And so just bear with me as we peel this back, because I still don't really fully understand the patterns part yet, but kind of. So for signs, we have Virgo, Cancer, Taurus, Libra, Aries, some Sagittarius and Leo here as well. Okay. Yeah. So this is interesting because, again, I don't know if it's your energy or someone around you. I do feel as though there is checking something out, scoping the scene, you know? I don't know who's scoping what. It does seem almost like I'm getting two sort of extremes here. And so it's either checking something out and not wanting to be seen. So that could be somebody doing that to you or you doing that to someone, you know, like really just sort of wanting to be in the know and keeping tabs and that sort of a thing, which did come through. But more likely than not, they have another energy that it could just mean I am seeing something that I want to be a part of that seems like it's a far reach, and I've been investigating it, looking at it, but the Spirit is saying your energy, okay, if this is you, of course, is like, I could never do that. So let me learn about it. Let me keep understanding it. But the more we're sort of doing it, the more we feel like I can't do it, or I won't be successful with this thing. And it's like, it feels like I'm on the outside learning about how I would have to be to do this thing. Would I be successful to do this thing? And so it was like a procrastinator of, I need to know and see and understand. And so I'll be like observing and doing everything I can from the outskirts rather than actually plunging into it. Okay. And so I don't know which energy that applies to, because you could have somebody that's watching you, or it could be you'd have people that would watch you. And so it's like, I have to be cautious here. I have to know exactly how to move and act and do, because maybe we're on the public stage. Maybe we're going to be exposed or seen. And it's like, so I got to be, make sure that it's in line, or else maybe I'll be ousted here. And maybe I won't be approved. Maybe people won't like me. Maybe they won't like the way that the result comes when I finally, you know, put that movie out or act on stage or release my album or do the song and dance. And so it's like, I must observe for some time till I get it right. You know, that's sort of an energy. Like, what if I do this thing and commit to this thing, or finally just expose myself? Then if it's premature, it crashes and burns. Will I have success? Is it going to be successful? I feel like there's a heavy energy here of procrastination and not doing. Okay, like procrastination, not doing. And so we might be, obviously, like, this is laziness, but I don't think it's a laziness so much as it is an inaction. And I was even saying his package is looking quite feminine to me. Okay. And I don't know why I was drawn to it, but I was getting like a lot of feminine. I think this is a masculine, but I was thinking like, instead of doing, we're not doing, right? Instead of being masculine, which is the doing, taking action, outward energy, or sort of not doing and waiting around for things to show me, you know. And Spirit saying, well, to go the distance would be what? Having success, to win the race or make it through something successfully, you know, be the victor here, be proud. I'm getting 6 wands, like have success, bragging rights in some way, but maybe we feel imposter. Maybe it's like, I don't want to seem cocky, or I'll be seen in some way or exposed, you know. And like, this is like loving community, acceptance, and this feels like ousted because we're too arrogant or too I don't know. So I mean, I don't know. And then laziness and success, it's like we're contemplating how it could go, and it's like two ways, so I feel like something hasn't happened because we might be thinking it could be this or it could be that, or I'm imagining the extreme of something, and here it's like it's not really fruitful. She's like on her knees, she's trying to harvest. It seems like a big dry desert. It's like I can't have, I don't know, like the car can't go here in this terrain, and the car would make things easier, but this terrain, the car can't come. So the easiness of this can't come in some way, or, the car could signify the chariot, success. Again, I was feeling 6-1. Like the success of something, the outcome of something. It's like it's pending on me alone, and I won't have my tool, or I won't have something here that would make it easy, or success isn't guaranteed. It's like, is the universe going to be with me or against me? Are there going to be vultures like observing me or watching every move I make? Or am I the one that's looking at the situation, circumstance, so I fully understand it before I go in? I don't know. It's like one or the other here. And Spirit's talking about allowing ourselves to move with the universe and not resist and not go against and try to put up obstacle or block. Like to actually jump in here, take a risk, jump in this, dive in head first, but it's like, if it's like this kayak is going through this rapids in some way, how it's like it could throw us completely off balance. So we have to maintain some form of balance, but it's like the adventure here, but it's right by this slowdown. And so life isn't a race, nor is it a competition. You need to slow down. Doing so doesn't make you weak or less than. Remember, one felt opposite. Like this feels like, oh, I'm puffing out my chest, I'm successful. And the other one's like, oh, I don't know. Like it's not necessarily weak, but it's on the other side of the scale. It's like, I don't know. Maybe we're seeing it as like a weakness here, but it says doesn't make you weak or less than. It makes you strong, wise, and much better able to navigate life with clarity and ease. So I think this is something you love, okay, if it's you. There seems to be looking at something because we would love to partake. We would love to have success. We would love to do it. But it's like, I'm cautious here of my own commitment or involvement in this thing. And so I'm just sort of seeing this thing, but now this says enemy. And so this could be the enemy, which would be the energy we don't like, the outcome we don't like that's the enemy. It's like I do this thing and then the worst outcome sort of happens here where I'm ousted or I'm excluded or I don't have success or it crashes and burns. It doesn't do the thing here. Like, have we cultivated something here? I don't know. There seems to be also a message about the inner child dream, again, because it's something we love, something that speaks to us, something we're wanting to nurture, or maybe we're thinking of how do we grow this project or this thing or take this thing to success. And I'm tossing it about and tossing it about and tossing it about. And like, am I plunging into catastrophe here or what? So this is what I mean about I don't know patterns. This could be I'm breaking an ancestral pattern that has happened where maybe, it's like the first in my family to like run with an actual life purpose here and go against the grain, like break the pattern that I can't achieve something of myself or do this thing. Like the childhood dream here, I feel is like calling in some way, and maybe we feel again like an imposter syndrome. And it's like, can I build? And also like the some hierarchy thing here, because it's like other people tell me what to do, or like I was under the orders of others. Maybe it was like I would just fall into the 9-to-5 thing here, and I'm breaking this sort of mindset that to be successful means I have to toe the line, or I don't know, work under another's authority. I can't be my own boss, or I can't have my own business, or something like this also pulling through. And it's like, how solid will this be? Will I have the success here? Is it going to be prosperous? But I feel like this type of a success is more giving me image. How successful will I appear? Will I be seen? Will I have the victory of fame, the victory of acknowledgement? Something about seen, but it feels very egoic here in some way with all of the cielo, I'm getting some sort of egoic thing that's pulling through here as well. Take the risk. Okay, I don't know. We'll put the pieces together, you guys. So let's see. The Spirit's clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3, the week ahead. What is this message I'm delivering for the greatest and highest good? Please help me to deliver only what pile 3 needs to know. If it is not accurate, don't let me say it, please. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. What is this message? Can we take a deeper dive towards the energy of the week ahead for pile 3? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the collective tapped into pile 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed. 6 Pentacles. I thought for sure we'd see a 6 Wands, but 6 Pentacles is equal reciprocity. Are we investing, volunteering, giving of our time and energy, or is it going to pay us forward in kind? Let's see, Spirit, for the week ahead for pile 3. Can we take a look at this message a little deeper for the week ahead? King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Something about understanding, logical understanding and knowing so that we can take proper action or speak our truth. 6 of Pentacles. Okay, these are going to be over here because I don't feel it's part of this. For pile number 3 in regards to the week ahead. The Magician, Virgo, Gemini. The 3 of Wands in reverse. Something again about pursuing some opportunity here, but it seems like something's stuck or not expanded or not acted upon. There's that procrastination sort of energy, or this fiery, like something like falls apart here. Okay, or the fear of something falling apart if we invest in it. Why is the King of Swords here? Judgment in reverse. Okay. I know I'm slamming the cards down. And then the Magician here. Why is the Magician here? 9 of Pentacles in reverse. And then the King of Wands. Yeah, it does feel very entrepreneurial type energy here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then the 2 of Wands. There's the decision. And then we'll see. Let's put these over here. So we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. 3 kings. Someone here has, it could be one of 3 brothers, okay? Or like 3 siblings or 3 business partners. I'm feeling business partners as well. It could definitely be significant. It could be going in business with their family or friends, okay? Or like we could just have 3 siblings, okay? Or be one of 3 siblings. I don't know which it is. It could be brothers, but it's coming through as confirmation here. But King of Pentacles in reverse, 3 of Cups. Oh my goodness, I was 3 of Cups here. Okay, 5 Wands, and then the 5 Swords. Oh, okie dokie. Let me channel. What is this? Interesting energy. What's under 2 Wands? 3 of Pentacles. Again, business, investment, working together, collaborating. Okay, let's see. Okay, this week, what's in front of you? I think it's been in front of you for some time, though. That's the thing. It's not anything new, okay, really, at the end of the day. I mean, it's always a new day and we're always reborn. But I feel like there is, in the past even, it's like, do I want to invest in something here? Can I move forward with this thing? Can I trust it? Can I trust my business partners? Will this venture be successful? Will I be successful in this venture? Can I make this happen? I got to choose this. Okay, because you're one cog in making it happen in some way, but you have to sort of show up. And I think maybe you're like tossing this idea about like, am I seeing everything for what it is clearly? Because I don't want to invest. And maybe it's going to take your money or your time or some form of an investment, your property, your commitment. And it's like, if I invest here, am I seeing all of it? And I want to know that it'd be successful in some way, that I'm not sort of just rose-colored glasses or being duped. And it's like Spirit saying, well, for one, nothing is certain ever. Okay. And Spirit's also saying you're not looking from maybe a clear perspective here with this Judgment in reverse, because you're not seeing, and you're not seeing the parts that maybe can't be known or seen just yet anyway. But Spirit is saying like diving in head first. Okay, diving in head first here is something that Spirit is saying is you taking a risk moving forward so that you can manifest what it is that you're wanting here. But I feel like your hesitation is, I don't have maybe the resource, or I feel dependent on something else, or I'm not in a position to give to it financially, or I just don't know that the outcome would be financially beneficial for me. And I'm waiting here. I'm waiting here and waiting here and waiting here. And Spirit's saying, well, you're not necessarily seeing clearly that for you to experience this manifestation, you'd have to get in front of this choice and choose differently. And that you're very much capable here with this King of Wands. Out of all of the cards in the whole deck, aside from the Emperor, to execute on plan would be this King of Wands and be successful and have the business knowledge and have the fiery intuition to make decisions that are in line with success here. And this is like the collaboration and cooperation of others that can build the empire that can't be built on our own. But maybe we have question around, I don't know, is there a bully here? Can we trust the enemy here? Are we not knowing, like, maybe there is someone, that, I don't know, as a business partner here that maybe you're not trusting. And it's like, will this go far and long? Can I trust this group of people or this network of people or this business entity that I'm going to invest with? It's maybe not necessarily a person so much as it is maybe two businesses that are going to invest with my business. Could be like a venture, an acquisition of sorts. And so we're having an acquisition, and it's like, I want to know it's going to be secure. I don't want to be taken advantage of it. And we were surely getting signs of like sneakiness somehow here. But I felt like, I don't know if it was like you scoping out your venture partners or them scoping you out, trying to like get the skinny. But I was feeling some sort of hunt and prey sort of energy, and it's like, is it going to be like harmonious? Can we all get along? Can we all work together? Or is it going to be, when we all invest, it's like we all have our own idea of what we want. It's like we all have our own idea of what we want, and it might all be conflicting, and therefore we don't move ahead because we're all on different pages here. Yeah, and it results in like conflict, and it results in like us not working together. Everyone in it for themselves. Everyone wants their own vision of the business or what success would mean, and taking this venture in a direction. And it's like, is it going to crash and burn? And like these people had to abandon this car in order to go explore. Maybe you're amidst this like already, like I invested and now we're knee deep in this thing and we're wandering this dry desert, And it's like, now I need to understand who's with me, who's not with me, whose idea is in it for themselves. And oh my goodness, I'm getting weird energy here. So, okay. This is definitely not everyone's reading, but I'm going to channel what comes through because we're going to get more pointed and see what Spirit wants you to know then about the week ahead here. Like, is this someone snooping? Are you needing to know more here? And like, are we sort of passive because we don't know for sure? We can't take action for sure because we don't know who to work with or trust. Spirit, for this message for the week ahead, what am I missing exactly? And any questions that pile number 3 might have about this experience for the week ahead? Can we get more clear, more pointed about what this is? Will this be successful? Is there action they can take? Is there deception? What is this message for pile number 3? Clear and concise message for the greatest and the highest good of pile 3 only. Thank you so much. The Fool, Aquarius. But look at this fox in this deck. The fox, it talks to me. Oh, it talks about business as well. Okay, career, business, the fox. But it could talk about deception. We see enemy and somebody looking hella sneaky. Fool is about taking a risk. Aquarius. It seems to be a consistent theme, but I'm not putting it together. What about it? What about it, Spirit? What about it? Take the risk. The Sun, clarity, joy. That's the inner child I was feeling. The bottom is moving. Bottom of the deck. That's the inner child I was feeling here. Sun, something will be seen. Like, this is really, really like beautiful energy, you know, youthful, fun. Maybe you want to explore something fun, you know, it is fun here. But it would require you not to have baggage. And maybe you were like tricked by a partner in the past, or you don't want to be tricked, you know? And so we could be preventing this, but it's like, no, it's an inactive. 8 of Cups, walk away, emotional dissatisfaction. 5 of Cups, regret, loss. Looking back, it was sadness on an experience that didn't work out or disappointed. Why is the Sun here? So I have Leo and Aquarius energy. Why is the Sun here? This is also ego, which we were picking from this rooster, which I was about to call a cock, which is interesting because this guy is missing his package. Spirit, you're funny. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady wins the race. Okay, and then why is this 8 Cups here? Seems to be like a bag full of messages here. I don't know how to put this together for you. So we have 10 Wands. 10 Wands is like carrying a heavy burden here. And then the 3 Pentacles working together. Okie dokie. And then we have the Page of Cups. And then the 4 of Wands in reverse. Okay. Okie dokie 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 dokie. Beautiful angel. Something strong about child is coming through here. I don't know if you work with children. If you know these people from childhood, if you have children, it's going to be all confirmation. It could be part of the story, but child is coming through. It could be the childhood dream, my childhood business, the thing I had since I was a child, the thing I wanted since I was a child. I don't know. Strong child, though, okay? It could make you feel very youthful as well, because I feel it's very aligned here to something. I feel like you want success, obviously, but I feel like there's challenge right now. And I feel like what Spirit is saying is the heavy challenge here is I feel like you might not know whether you can trust to invest or work with those people or invest in that business or that situation, or whether it'll be profitable. And so this heaviness is weighing on you. And I think for this week, Spirit is saying there's going to be a walking away from either people who are not aligned, whatever it is here that is burdening you, in not investing in the thing that you feel is going to bring you happiness. So we could no longer align with that community, no longer align with that job no more, and have to walk away. Is there something we have to walk away from in order to invest in something else? And it's investing in the something else is this beautiful youthful venture here, okay? And I feel it's going to bring happiness. I think you are going to have clarity in making this decision. And I think it will be slow going, and that's fine, because Spirit's saying it's not a race. Slow down. You could go as slow as you need. It's going to be successful. This is the card of success here with the Sun. It's the most positive card of the tarot when I read it, and it heightens the positivity of all the cards around it and sort of waters down anything that it might be in the shadow. And so I feel like we might be fearing disappointments, you know, because you've experienced it in the past, or just, I know what disappointment feels like. I don't want to be emotionally disappointed here. Or again, in the situation in the past or where I'm at is been not fulfilling for me. So in my current employment's been unfulfilling, or this path has been unfulfilling. I'm looking back at missed time, or like, I want thrill. Like, you want thrill here, I feel. I think that feel whatever this is like thrilling, like I don't know, get your heart going, you know? And Spirit is saying, like, we have to trust and take the risk. And I think the only thing really stopping you is maybe like your own understanding of like the hesitation of who I can trust and how I can trust. This is a burden I think that you're going to be working through. It's like, who can I work with? Where can I invest and make it a tangible thing? I don't want to just carry the weight around of the non-trust or the investigation of it, because I feel like you've been investigating this thing, or I don't know, like let's dive into this enemy fox energy, this hidden in the shadows person, because I don't know what that's about. But I don't feel there's a threat here. Like, it feels to me like it's either exposed. So who doesn't want to work with you or who you don't want to work with is exposed. You're seen. You're like, nope, you're on a different page than me, or you're not aligned with me, or you can't work with me, But I don't know why it would be a burden here. Maybe it's like walking away from this person. Maybe it is a sibling or a business partner that we've known for a long time. And it's like, I got to do my own thing, bro. Like, we got to go our separate way. I can't carry you guys no more, It's like, I got to go, I don't know. Let's see. Why is this like trickster sort of energy or fox energy here, or enemy, sneaky energy, hidden amongst the shadows, peeking behind the curtain, circling the prey? Like, what is this, Spirit? King of Swords in reverse. Someone who doesn't know or doesn't see. Look at the dragonfly again. Like, what is behind the veil and appears one way? We're not seeing a great truth. It's in the reverse. And the sun is all about seeing things clearly. We see someone clearly or something clearly. It could be you see yourselves clearly, or whatever was the enemy, It could be the aspect of self, the thing getting in the way, the person getting in the way, the aspect getting in the way, the reason I was procrastinating in the way, whatever was making me uncertain. I didn't understand it and I didn't see it, but it becomes something I see, I didn't get it then, but I see it now. Okay, what about it though? The Tower. So this is the shift we need, Not all towers are negative here. For some of you guys, it's like, wow, I see this person's true colors, or I see this person was underhanded, had their own agenda, or these two people did. However, I was trying to work with, And it's like shocking, revealing, because it's like, no, I trusted you. You're like my brother, my partner. We worked together since we were a child. Or I've worked at this job for so long, and it's like, boom, like I see it now. It was getting in my way of my own creation. I don't want to work here no more. It disappointed me, or like it no longer emotionally fulfilled me. So boom, it's like I got to make a change. Or this could be suddenly I see through my own hesitation, my own limitation, my own thing I was seeing here that I couldn't, or I didn't understand something, and I was spending so much time understanding, doing it over and over and over again, procrastinating, not taking the risk, not taking the risk, not taking the risk, and I was like being shown, like, take the risk here in this career move. I do feel it's a career move here, making moves. And it's like, but if I make a move, then boom, it's like, it's like there, finally. So I think you're going to experience the boom finally, boom, finally I see it. Boom, finally this thing's removed, this person seen for who they are. What else? What else, Spirit? The Empress in reverse. So the block to abundance was because of whatever this was. And it's going to be very apparent to you why I couldn't get the abundance here. Okay, Empress is abundance in this case. It's the open door to giving and receiving. We had 6 pentacles opening up your reading. When I invest, I expect to have an equal reciprocity. I give to something and then it produces, or there's an expectation that I will invest in something, and eventually when I'm on the other side of it, it will provide. But I feel like there was a block here to this, and it's like, unless I have this shift or walk away or acknowledge something or see the truth, then I'm blocking the abundance that I could have. Major, 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 major. Like, wow. Craziness here. One more. 2 more. 7 of Pentacles. It wasn't abundant. It wasn't producing. It was blocking the abundance. I couldn't invest in this thing, put the time, the energy, the effort. Okay, 3 of Wands. We move on from that, or we move forward. We take it to the next level. Okay, wherever plans fell apart, wherever we were stunted, wherever we couldn't expand, that block is being shifted, however it is, either through your own action of walking away or someone else walking away. It could be someone else walking away from our thing saying, hey, this isn't for me no more. It's like, whoa, what do you mean? Now who's going to invest in the other third of this business, or the other half of this business, or where am I going to then, have the I don't know, if they were providing the residence, it's like, this could be like the building manager saying, no, we're now going to rent to someone else, or we're selling the building, then it's like, whoa, or something like this, I don't know, but it does seem to be more so what I'm getting is like something already was blocked as a result of an understanding, a long-held understanding is what I feel, that wasn't allowing abundance and wasn't allowing the success of a venture to take place, to merge, to be invested in, to be abundant, to be fulfilled, to be acted upon, to be explored. It was blocked. And now this is released, or it's seen for what it is. And now clearly we see a path forward. So there's hope here. There's a revelation or an understanding or clarity that comes that wasn't there before. And I do feel like, yeah, it was like disguised in the past because maybe we felt imposter, or the person was pretending to be someone they were not, or they were pretending to be interested, or they just weren't a good fit, It's like, that wasn't really the true business partner. It was just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is there a pyramid scheme here? Maybe like you don't want to invest in a pyramid scheme? I feel like I do need just one more, because I wouldn't want to leave you with just this. I don't know. For whatever reason, I feel like we just need one more. So, spirits, thank you so much for this. I am going to close out this reading. Please, whatever the viewer needs to understand, any questions that they have to close out this reading, anything I'm missing, anything important, if there's any sort of thing that they're not seeing that needs to be understood or revealed. 9 of Swords, a lot of anxiety. Okay, a lot of anxiety about what will happen. 3 of Pentacles, what will happen in the partnership? Will we work together? Can we build a thing? Can we come together? I think you're spending a lot of time in your mind about this thing. Spirit is saying, okay, is that falling on top? I think it is. Page of Wands. Yeah, can I explore this? Again, youthful energy. Like, I want to just explore this beautiful thing here, and it's blocked. There's too much anxiety. What else do we need to know? The 2 swords, sitting at the stalemate. The Tower shifts this thing, though, you guys. Okay, 8 of Swords in reverse. So breaking out of our own limiting thoughts. Knight of Cups in reverse. The block to our passion. The block to our heart's contentment, our creation. It's not like we weren't able to act in line with our heart here. Like, put our money where our mouth is in the practical world. 10 of Swords. Something comes to an end. That's the Tower. The indecision, the stalemate, the lack of movement, procrastination, justice, and the High Priestess. So I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. We have Libra and Pisces. So it's good. I feel like, even though it's not very clear to me so much, but the channeling is very clear of what it's saying. Okay. It's talking about things actually, like, there being justice, there being the right sort of thing lining up here. Okay, the right thing is lining up here. There is something unfolding here. And I feel like whatever was hidden will be seen. Justice will be served. If you were wronged, you will be righted. Okay, if there was a stagnation, a crossroads here where we felt stagnant or a stalemate, this is coming to an end. And I feel like in this 10 swords, like, we don't see like swords at all. I don't know my mushrooms. It says anemone stinkhorn. I don't know if that means anything, but I feel like it's a different type of 10 swords. Like not normally how I read a 10 swords. Take it how you will. But it feels to me like a good 10 swords, even though maybe this is not a good type of mushroom, but it feels good because we're no longer at a stalemate, or now I see something here. Yeah, and look at these little, they look like fireflies. So it's like it's illuminated, But whatever was the stalemate's illuminated, but that part comes to an end. And the biggest fear of how this will manifest, how this will become a 3D reality, how will this be abundant, how will it provide, how will it come together, how will I work with these people, because I really, 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 really want to act in line with my childhood dream or my heart's content, and just take this risk and explore and find out what happens here. And it was stuck and blocked. Okay, we come out of this. And the only thing here that could certainly be getting in the way, like I said, could be our own limiting thoughts of why we cannot explore. This is going away. Something's revealed. Something's over. We see through some liars, see through something we didn't see before. Not necessarily a lie, you know. I feel like we just see something that was opposed to it or causing the block. Yeah. And I feel like it's saying it's karmically like this for a reason. So if that partner shit the bed, there's a reason for it. If something didn't work out in that aspect, it was for a very good reason. Karma was unfolding so that you wouldn't go down a path that would explode, that wouldn't be good for you. And Spirit saying you can trust to dive in here. You can take the risk. You can break out of your limiting thoughts. You can trust to work with whoever here, now that you see the truth, or when the tower happens, it's like, okay, now I'm confident that I can invest here or work with this thing, you know, and take off this disguise, or the mask is no longer there. So this is what I have. I hope this made sense. Oh, wowzers, what a reading. I love you guys so much. You'll have to let me know in the comments. This has been entertaining. And I will see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye.